he can finish there without any. How we want to get into the the second question is very clear. Indian fellow PhD, he finished PhD in India, he can get into any academic job in foreign. It's two questions.
Yeah. Well, now you're bringing other factors into this, because you're saying no, get into another PhD or work, work.
If I finish PhD in India here, then I want to get into the work in abroad.
Yeah. Well, now you're bringing other issues. No, you're bringing work visa into the thing. You cannot stay in India and then come directly to work. Not in our field. Rarely in like computer science, you have a PhD in computer science from IIT Kanpur and you want to come there. Yes, but not in our field. So you will not get a work visa. The way things work is your employer has to agree to sponsor you for a work visa, H-1B. Work visa is H-1B. And so your employer has to sponsor you. And employers won't sponsor you if you're abroad because they don't know you. They don't know how to evaluate you. So chances are not good at all. But if you came to States and got a PhD, chances are extremely good of getting work.
If I come with the PDF?
PDF?
Postdoctoral fellowship, there is opportunity in your university?
There is no postgraduate, there is no postdoctoral fellowship in US because anybody with a PhD gets a job instantly as an assistant professor. So it's redundant. We don't have postdoctoral fellows. We don't have that facility.
Is there a lot of difference between doing a PhD in US and European universities?
I don't know much about European universities. Some European universities like UK is very much like Indian, where you don't have long coursework, where basically you work on it's a relationship between you and the supervisor, okay? It's a much more ad hoc kind of thing, whereas US everything is systematized, everything is regular, you have to take classes, 2 years of classes, and so the model is very different between Europe and US.
So especially in Ireland, if you want to do your master's, they give a 2-year work visa later after you complete your master's. So is something similar as available in university?
What program did you say?
Like if you go to a master's program in
Yeah.
Ireland or anything like that, after 1 year of your education, they give a 2-year work visa. That's available. Is something similar available?
You don't get a work visa. I don't know about other fields. You don't get a work visa. You get OPT. OPT is depending in media and communication. You get a 12-month OTP, which means that you can go out and work for 1 year. OTP. Okay. And within that 1 year, that sponsor, that employer must sponsor you for H-1B. Then you will continue. Otherwise, you will have to come back. But everybody is guaranteed 12 months of working. That's the OTP. Yeah.
Is there any scope for exchange programs, US universities?
Exchange? Yes, there is scope, but those have to be worked out through memorandum of understanding between your administration here and the administration over there. Okay. So there is nothing like it's all the way it's worked out. What can you offer them and what can they offer you? So theoretically, is it possible? Yes. But a lot of things have to be worked out. Sometimes students go just for internship and come back. Those are some other things that are available. Also, you don't have to go to States. There are other places from India you can go. I would suggest Singapore. Singapore has some very fine educational institutions. which are world class. You can go to Australia. Australia also has very decent, good programs in media and communication. All right. You can also go to Canada. But Canada, there are not as many jobs available after you graduate as they are in USA. Okay, so these are some of the things. If you went to some places like Philippines has a very, very good program in development communication. There are a couple of universities in Philippines that are very good. So there are other places also where you can go. All right. Australia, Singapore, Canada. I'm talking only English. I'm sure if you learned another language, you can go to other places also. Yeah. I think you people are very tired of me. And I'm, yes sir.
Sir, can you tell us about some production related courses in media?
You have to choose production related departments. So you have to again go online and search. There are production related departments relating to journalism. Columbia University. Columbia University is a production related journalism program. There are other production related in audio and video. So you just have to go and search, spend some time and look over and see what kinds, and there are master's programs available. You need to find out what kind of funding. A lot of the time there's not any funding available. You may have to take a bank loan here and go. But then if you take a bank loan from here and go, make sure that you can work there for a few years to pay off your loan. Your employer is the only person who can sponsor you. And so if employer is willing to sponsor, you will. But in our field, there are not many employers who will sponsor. Fields like computer science, management, their master's graduates do find jobs and they work. But in media and communication, you may have to go and work in a television station, or you may work in a radio station, or work in advertising, and there normally they are not very interested in, because they have a lot of their own people. There's a glut, you see, and so the chances of somebody actually sponsoring you, chances are not very good. But the level of education in production would be very good because of the quality of the studios, the quality of the infrastructure, and also professors or instructors, whoever you want to call, that tends to be very good. Okay.
For instance, any top studio in India, whatever equipment, infrastructure they have, the teaching department also would have the same thing. If say TV9 has acquired a new camera, a new editing suite, this department would also buy and install and train the students.
Yeah.
That is the level of training in US universities.
Yeah, yeah.
Why it is not there?
It's very simple, because people like us, government is not investing money on education. Government is not investing money on higher education. There is very little money coming, and students don't pay fees. There are so many reasons, and whatever we have, we are not making use of them properly. It's not one reason. There are so many reasons. But when you leave the the university campus, when you go and start working in a television studio, you don't feel any difference at all. That's a very important point to understand.
They change the infrastructure often.
Any new thing that has come to market, universities will buy first. Because they don't want their students to exhibit their ignorance in studios.
Yeah. No, yeah.
ಗೊತ್ತಾ ನೀನು ಹೋಗ್ತೀಯ ಇದು ಸರ್ ಈ ಮೆಷಿನ್ ನಾನು ನೋಡೇ ಇಲ್ವಲ್ಲ ಸರ್. ನಮ್ಮ ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇದೇ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್. ಸರ್ ಆ್ಯಪಲ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಸರ್? ಇನ್ಯಾವುದೋ ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಸಾಫ್ಟ್ವೇರ್ ನಾನು ನೋಡೇ ಇಲ್ವಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಉಪಯೋಗಿಸೇ ಇಲ್ವಲ್ಲ ಸರ್. ನಮ್ಮ ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ, ಆಗ ನನಗೆ ಯಾರು ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ ಸರ್. ನೀವು ಒಂದು ದಿವಸ ಹೋಗಿ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಲ್ಲ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಎಲ್ಲ ಇದೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ, ಬಟ್ ನೀವು ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ ಸೀರಿಯಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಅದು ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ ವರ್ಕಾಲಿಕ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ. ದಟ್ಸ್ ದ ಮೇನ್ ರೀಸನ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಲೈಕ್ ದಿಸ್.
ಅವರು ಎಷ್ಟು ಸ್ಟ್ರಗಲ್ ಆಗ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂದರೆ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಆಲ್ ದ ಎಕ್ವಿಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ
ಅಂದರೆ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ. ನೀವು ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀಯ ಈ ರೀತಿಯ ವೆರಿ ಅನ್ಫಾರ್ಚುನೇಟ್ ಸಿಚುವೇಶನ್. ಇದನ್ನು ಉಪಯೋಗ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊತೀವ ಅದು ಇಲ್ಲ, ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಅದು ಕೇಳಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ. ನಮ್ಮ ಟೆಂಡೆನ್ಸಿ ಏನಾಗಿದೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಗಳದ್ದು ಮತ್ತು ನಮ್ಮ ಪುಡಾರಿಗಳು, ನಮ್ಮ ಲೀಡರ್ಗಳು, ಇವ್ರದ್ದೆಲ್ಲ ಏನಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ ಅದನ್ನು ಕೇಳೋದು, ಏನಿದೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಡ್ರಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಈಗ ಒಂದು ಕಾಮನ್ ಒಂದು ಟೆಲಿವಿಷನ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ಯು ರಿಕ್ವೈರ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಇಯರ್. ನೀವು ಎಷ್ಟು ಟೆಲಿವಿಷನ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆಯಾ, ಎಷ್ಟು ಡಾಕ್ಯುಮೆಂಟ್ರಿ ಮಾಡಿದೆಯಾ, ಹೌ ಮೆನಿ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ಸ್ ಯಾವ ಅಪ್ಲೋಡೆಡ್ ಆನ್ ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್, ಎಷ್ಟಾಗಿದೆಯಪ್ಪ ಈ ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟಿಂದ? I don't see any significant programs being done. You are here for 2 years. What is your contribution? Nil. ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಅಮೆರಿಕ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಹಂಗೆ ಆಗಬಾರ್ದು. ಸೊ ಮೈ ಸಿನ್ಸಿಯರ್ ರಿಕ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಟು ಯು ಆಲ್ ಈಸ್ ಸ್ಪೆಂಡ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್. ಬೆಳಗ್ಗೆ 10 ಗಂಟೆಗೆ ಬಾ, ಒಂದು ಸಣ್ಣ ಡಬ್ಬಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು 4 ಚಪಾತಿ ತಗೋ, ಮಧ್ಯಾಹ್ನ ತಿನ್ಕೋ, ಸಂಜೆ 6 ಗಂಟೆ ತನಕ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಓದು. ಡೈಲಿ ರೀಡ್ 3 or 4 newspapers, 2 magazines. ವಾಚ್ ಸಮ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಬೆಸ್ಟ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ಸ್. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ವಿಡಿಯೋಗಳಿದ್ದಾವೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ, ನೀವು ಯಾರು ನೋಡ್ತೀರಿ? ಯಾರು? ಇಟ್ಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಅನ್ಫಾರ್ಚುನೇಟ್.
I have one question.
Yes.
Sir.
Yes.
How many students during the last 4-5 years have come from the US to your university for PhD program?
How many from where?
From India.
From India.
1 or 2?
They come in waves. Sometimes you get a big wave, sometimes not much at all. I have actually advised a lot of India. Ivaga right now in our PhD program we have, last year one student came from Bombay. Then we have a senior person who's going to be graduating. He came from Calcutta. Just graduated a young lady. I graduated from Delhi. So three. So we have 3. So in our program at any time you can find about 3 or 4 Indians. Sometimes we have 5 or 6.
How about people from China, Korea?
China, they come through the woodwork. Oh, bah. Tsunami. Yes, China. There's also a difference, no? I mean, China, they want to get out of China.
Youngsters especially.
Youngsters especially, they want to get out of China. The oppressive climate, and so the GRE, they start preparing for GRE 5 years before. They take coaching classes for 2 years, 3 years, because it is their visa to get out. They take, so they study very, very, very hard, and so they come in very, very large numbers. Indians don't come in such large numbers. Of late, because the situation in India has improved a lot, the Indian students number has come down. So in my university we get a lot of Chinese students and we get a lot of Saudi Arabian students. So most Saudi Arabian students are very, very bad. I was telling you, people who cannot write in English at all, their government gives generous scholarships, full, everything paid. And but then out of 10 Saudi Arabian students, 1 will be very, very good. So we cannot reject Saudi Arabian students simply because they're all bad, because suddenly in a heap of coal there'll be 1 diamond. So we have to be careful. Sometimes we get some very bad students. Recently we had a woman, Saudi Arabian student. She should not come to US, people like that. She comes to US and she told one of her friends that she does not like to, she will not take any classes from male professors. And she did not. The first year she was lucky. 50% of our faculty are female professors. We have lots of female. So you can take a lot of classes under females, but if the compulsory class a male is teaching, what are you going to do? Not only that, even in the classes she took, she would give some cock and bull stories to her professor and Skype her classes. She would Skype, and that is the student we rejected in the qualifying exam. See, I told you, bad apples, attitude problem, and of course, when she writes in English, I don't know what she's writing. She may as well have written it in Arabic. You know, so it's like that. So you get those. But then I have graduated some fantastic Saudi Arabian students. So it's there, you know. Indian students on the whole do well. Because they have a better command over English, all right. It's not just writing grammatically correct English. At PhD level, you must indulge in analytical writing. You must go beneath issues, ask questions, you know. Language is our weapon. What else is our weapon? Language is our weapon. And so, if you're very, very good in language, you can write not just grammatically correct English, but you can write very well in what we call as analytical writing. That's basically it. And we get Korean students. They are also not good in English, but they work very hard and try to improve. You know, so for some of you who say, you know, nanage English sariya gottilla, think of Korean students who come. They are very poor in English, but they work hard, they struggle, and they pass. And if a Korean student can improve her English and do well, a Kannada medium student can do better, because there is English all around you. In Korea, there is no English anywhere except English Institute. So if you're willing to work hard, if you're, you know, you speak, you feel you're not very strong in English, you can improve. You know, you just have to work hard. Indian students are who are not gone to English medium, they somehow can manage to write okay, but they feel that their spoken English is not good. So spoken English, you got to improve your spoken English. Speak English whenever you can. Speak to people who don't know your language. So improve your spoken English, and that will be very useful. So anyway, so that is the number of students we have, and right now I'm working my last PhD student. He's from Bangladesh, and I'm working with him. He'll graduate next year. I have supervised 20 PhD students, about 20 master's students in my career. So of which a good half of them have been Indians.
Where are those 20 now? They are in the teaching profession? Or
Yes.
the
Yes.
field?
My first graduate was Sandhya Rao.
She's from the same
Yeah,
department.
Oh, Sandhya Rao is professor and Dean of Grad Studies at Texas State University. Who else? Sandeep Muppidi.
OPD, yes.
Sandeep is a professor. He graduated in 1998. He's professor at the University of Hartford, Connecticut. My most recent student is that young woman from Delhi, Shrinkala Upadhyaya. She's just come back 2 months ago. She does not like to teach, so she's looking for a non-teaching job. Pradeep Krishnatre.
Yeah.
Oh, Pradeep was there.
Yes. Pradeep Krishnatre is head of Johns Hopkins University in Delhi. and he before that has taught in many universities, Usmania, many universities in MP, Micah, he's taught in. Another student recently, Arpan Yagnik. Arpan is an assistant professor of advertising in Pennsylvania State University. Yeah. Several master students, they went on to do PhD, like Arvind Singhal, Divakar Goswami, you know. So yeah, all of them are working in the area for which they were trained, and they're all doing very well. A couple of Saudi Arabians, they graduated in 1992. They're all senior professors at their universities in Saudi. Several Chinese students, mostly women, a few men. They are also teaching in US, in different places. Everybody is gainfully employed. There's not a single person who's selling Sautekai on 100 feet road. No, that's just my joke. You know, so that's very good, and we pride ourselves on the fact that all our PhDs are very gainfully employed. Then there is Sanjanti Velu.
Oh yeah.
Sanjanti Velu, before Pradeep, she was the director. Now she has gone back. She's in a non-teaching position at Johns Hopkins University in Maryland, Baltimore. That Sanjanti Velu is another person I forgot. No. Yeah, those are, if my memory is right, those are the total number of Indian students I have worked with.
It is not the degree that matters. Our 4-year process in India, that's what teaches. 4 ವರ್ಷ ನೀವು ಇನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಪೇಪರ್ಸ್ಗಳು ಓದ್ತೀಯ, ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ ಟೈಪ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, in scoring ಇದೆ. That is what would help you throughout your career. Degree, yes, PhD can get comfortable in India. Course work ಮಾಡಬೇಡ, ಅನಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೇಳು, ಏನೇನೋ ಮಾಡ್ತೀಯ.
So badly organized in our system.
Not
the kind of course they have.
So degrees are not going to help you. ನೀನು 2 ವರ್ಷ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಕಲಿತೆ, ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದೆ, ಎಷ್ಟು ಬುಕ್ ಓದಿದೆ, ಎಷ್ಟು ಎಸ್ಸೆಗಳು ಓದಿದೆ. Have you watched the best of the documentaries produced in the world? Have you watched best of the movies produced in the world? ಎಷ್ಟು ಬುಕ್ಸ್ ಓದಿದೆ, ಎಷ್ಟು ಡಾಕ್ಯುಮೆಂಟರಿಗಳನ್ನ ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಬುಲೆಟಿನ್ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ. ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಮೋರಿಂಗ್. ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಸರ್ ಐ ಗಾಟ್ MSc ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನಿಕ್ಸ್. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ನೀವು ಮರ್ಯಾದೆ ಮಾಡೋದು ಯಾಕೆ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋದಾಗ ನಿಮಗೆ ಇಂಟರ್ವ್ಯೂ ಹೋದಾಗ ಸಿಂಪಲ್. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸರ್ ಏನಾಗಿದೆ, ದ ಬಿಗ್ಗೆಸ್ಟ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ದಟ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಇನ್ ಮೀಡಿಯಾ ಎಜುಕೇಷನ್ ಈಸ್ all media institutions have their own training setup. For instance, in Karnataka, TV9 has started a course of 1 year, and they take the best of the students, highly motivated, collect a fees of 1.5 lakh rupees for the 7-month, 8-month course. They provide in-house training, and they are doing very well. Now, ಇದೇ ಮಾತು ಇವ್ರು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, ಇವ್ರ ತಲೆಗೆ ಹೋಗಲ್ಲ. All big newspapers in India, ರಾಜಸ್ಥಾನ್ ಪತ್ರಿಕಾ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಆಂಧ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ 2-3 ಪೇಪರು, ಸಾಕ್ಷಿ, ಎಲ್ಲರೂ, all of them, they are not depending on media schools. They say we are not getting students that we are looking for. ಅವರಿಗೆ ಕ್ವಾಲಿಫಿಕೇಷನ್ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಅವರಿಗೆ ಮೋಟಿವೇಶನ್ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಅವರಿಗೆ ಬರೆಯೋಕ್ಕೆ ಬರಲ್ಲ. ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಡೆ ನೋಡಿ, ಈಗ ರಾಜಸ್ಥಾನ್ ಪತ್ರಿಕೆ ತಗೋ, ಈನಾಡು ತಗೋ, ಸಾಕ್ಷಿ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಕೇಷನ್ ಈಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಹ್ಯೂಜ್ ಸೆಟಪ್. ಹೈದರಾಬಾದ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದೀವಿ, ರಾಜಸ್ಥಾನ್ ಪತ್ರಿಕೆಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ದೈನಿಕ್ ಜಾಗರಣ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಜರ್ನಲಿಸಮು, ದೈನಿಕ್ ಭಾಸ್ಕರ್ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಜರ್ನಲಿಸಮ್, ಒರಿಸ್ಸಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಸಣ್ಣ ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಪೇಪರ್, ದೇ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ದೇರ್ ಓನ್ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್. 25,000 1,50,000 ರೂಪಾಯಿನ ಫೀಸ್ ಇಸ್ಕೋತಾರೆ, 8 ಗಂಟೆ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿಸ್ತಾರೆ. 8 ಅಲ್ಲ, ಇನ್ನೂ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ. ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತೀಯ ನೀನಲ್ಲಿ, ನಿಮಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಬೆಲೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಅದೊಂದೇ ಇಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಅನ್ಫಾರ್ಚುನೇಟ್.
Last question. Last question.
ಸರ್, ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರೊಫೈಲ್ ಬರೀ MA ಮಾತ್ರ ಅಪ್ಲೋಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ, MAಗಿಂತ ಮುಂಚೆ ಏನು ಓದಿದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲೂ ಅಪ್ಲೋಡ್ ಮಾಡಿ.
MAಗಿಂತ ಮುಂಚೆ ಏನು
ಓದಿದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಅಪ್ಲೋಡ್ ಮಾಡಿ.
ನಾನಾ ಓಹೋ ಓಕೆ. BSc, BJ, MS, MPhil ಇಂಡಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇನೆ. My first degree was BSc physics, chemistry, mathematics
India only.
in Andhra University, Vijayawada.
ಆಮೇಲೆ BJ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು,
BJ,
Bachelor of Journalism.
Usmania University, MS in communication, Bangalore.
ಇವ್ರು
M
first batch student.
first batch.
ಕೆ ಈಪನ್ ಅಂತ ಇದ್ರು.
I am
he
the
started.
he and I are
Ahmad, ಅವರು
almost
classmates.
he and I are in the first batch of research, theory and research masters. Then I did MPhil in sociology. Usmania. This was when I was teaching at Usmania. You know, we were those days required to do MPhil before PhD. There was no PhD available in journalism or media. There were no supervisors till about 1980, 1981. So one way to think was to go to sociology and then concentrate on communication.
Select,
within.
a subject related
Yeah.
to media.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then, get a degree.
yeah. So that is what I did, and
What made motivate to go for abroad?
abroad.
Yes.
I wanted to do PhD, and there was no scope to do PhD in
ಆಗ ಏನಾಗಿತ್ತು ಗೊತ್ತಾ, there were very few recognized guides in India.
yeah. We didn't.
Nobody was offering. 70 when we graduated, there was nobody to offer a PhD
Yeah.
program. Nobody.
Because we had no PhDs in journalism and communication to offer. So, yes,
He
Epan.
was here, he was
Yeah.
not prepared. Nandi Krishnamurthy, Vice University, he has a PhD from America. He was not prepared to offer PhD program on regular basis. Right? Nagpur University, Hislop College was there was no professor and was not recognized. Similarly, Punjab University, Chandigarh, right? Where they had American people, again there was no PhD.
There were one or two, like there was, what's the name of the gentleman in Mysore University?
Nandi Krishnamurthy.
Nadi Krishnamurthy was there. Epan was there in Bangalore. Banerjee was in Banaras Hindu University. These were a few people, but they were not allowed to offer PhDs by their institutions. So we did not have anybody at that time. Also, in spite of that, I would not have gone to States. I was like any other college student, apathetic. ಸಾಯಂಕಾಲ ಹೋಗಿ ಬಿಯರ್ ಕುಡಿಯೋದು, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಹುಡುಗಿರ ವಿಚಾರ ಮಾತಾಡೋದು, ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಅದಂತೂ ಚೇಂಜೇ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಹಾಗೆ. ಬಟ್ but something happened to me which was very good. I applied for Rotary Journalism International Fellowship and I got it. I got it, and they selected one candidate from India, and that happened to be yours faithfully, and they paid me full everything for up and down living expenses, but they were willing to pay only for masters. So some wise person told me, go ahead, say you want to do masters. Only once you go there, Americans are tumba flexible avaru. So just go talk to them and say, look, I already have MPhil, I already have masters, I want to do PhD. So I went and tried that. That professor, that graduate coordinator said, absolutely not. So I got my third master's. I had to get MA there because Rotary said was going to pay me for an MA. So I said, okay, I did MA. But I decided I want to get my PhD in 4 years. That was my personal objective. I said, okay, you want me to do other masters? Fine. I will do another master's but still get my PhD in 4 years, which I did. So for me, another master's, another thesis was not a problem because I already written a thesis here. I written a thesis for MPhil. I don't have any problem in writing in English. Okay. So Ali, I went in rocket speed, and I finished my master's in 3 semesters flat with a thesis, and then they admitted me into PhD. And in PhD, I finished it in 2.5 years. Because you can take your credits from your master's. If you're in the same university, the credits that you have earned for your master's will transfer to the PhD, and you have to take some more. And so in 2.5 years, I was able to complete, and I graduated in 4 years with PhD. So that was my story.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
The energy put into your claps itself says that how was his lecture. I think I need not elaborate on that. Hope you got some motivation to study development communication and the areas which we had discussed.